If you value serious, grounded history and practical survival lessons, you're in the right place. Before we get into the substance, take a moment to subscribe to Battlefield of Survival, like this video if you value deep historical accuracy, and leave a comment with your own research or family stories. This channel exists for people who want usable knowledge, not surface-level nostalgia. Now, let's get straight to the point. Grocery shopping during the Great Depression was an exercise in restraint, calculation, and discipline. By the early 1930s, grocery shopping had little resemblance to the modern experience. There were no overflowing carts, no impulse buys, and no weekly hauls. Most families entered a store knowing exactly what they could afford, often down to the penny. Cash was king, credit was dangerous, and many households avoided stores altogether when possible. Every purchase had a purpose tied directly to survival. Shoppers did not browse. They asked for essentials, weighed cost against caloric return, and left with the bare minimum. Flour, cornmeal, lard, beans, rice and dried milk dominated grocery lists because these items could stretch meals across days. Fresh produce was seasonal and often replaced by homegrown vegetables or canned goods prepared months earlier. Meat was a luxury, not a staple. Stores were smaller, quieter, and built around necessity rather than convenience. Most grocery stores were independent, locally owned, and limited in inventory. Chain stores existed, but they were not dominant. Shelves carried fewer brands, and packaging was plain. Many items were sold in bulk, scooped and weighed by the grocer rather than pre-packaged. This reduced cost and waste, but it also meant shoppers bought only what they needed for the next few meals. Customers often brought their own containers or reused paper sacks. Waste was avoided instinctively, not as a trend. A family that wasted food was a family that might not eat later in the week. Survivalists today can apply this directly by shifting toward bulk buying reusable containers and meal planning based on caloric efficiency rather than preference. Bartering, credit tabs, and community ties shaped how food was acquired. Not every family could pay cash. In many towns, grocers kept handwritten credit ledgers for customers they trusted. These tabs were risky for store owners, but community relationships mattered. If a family had a reputation for honesty or seasonal income, they might receive food on credit until work resumed. Bartering was common. Eggs, milk, firewood or labour were exchanged for groceries. This was not charity. It was mutual survival. Modern, preparedness-minded individuals can learn from this by building local networks and practical trade skills. In hard times, relationships and usefulness matter more than stored cash. Home production, reduced dependence on stores whenever possible. Grocery shopping was often, the last option, not the first. Families grew gardens, raised chickens, and preserved food through canning, drying, and smoking. Stores, really, just filled gaps rather than providing full diets. Sugar might be purchased for preserving fruit. Flour might be bought to stretch vegetables into filling meals. This mindset is directly applicable today. Instead of relying entirely on supply chains, Depression-era households diversified food sources. A modern parallel would be combining pantry staples with home gardening, basic food preservation skills, and rotating stored goods to avoid waste. Prices mattered more than brands, and substitutions were routine. Brand loyalty barely existed for struggling families. If one product rose in price, it disappeared from the table. Recipes were flexible, often improvised, based on availability rather than tradition. Milk could be watered down, meat stretched with grains, and leftovers repurposed into entirely new meals. This adaptability is one of the most valuable lessons for survivalists. Knowing how to cook without fixed recipes, how to substitute ingredients, and how to extract maximum nutrition from limited supplies turns scarcity into sustainability. Children were often part of the grocery strategy. Older children were sent to stores to compare prices or collect scraps. Some butcher shops gave away bones for soup. Bakeries sold day-old bread at steep discounts. Nothing was beneath consideration if it contributed to the household's survival. Today, this translates into understanding overlooked food sources. Discount sections, imperfect produce, bulk remnants, and alternative protein sources all mirror Depression-era practices. Awareness and willingness matter more than comfort. Shopping frequency was dictated by preservation, not preference. Many families shopped infrequently because transportation was limited and money tighter. This forced planning. Meals were designed around what could be stored safely without refrigeration. Root vegetables, cured meats, and dry goods formed the backbone of diets. Modern survival planning benefits from this approach. Learning to store food without reliance on constant refrigeration, rotating shelf-stable items, and planning meals weeks ahead reduces vulnerability to disruptions. Grocery shopping during the Great Depression was survival logistics, not consumer behavior. Every decision carried consequences. Food was fuel, not entertainment. The store was a resource node, not a lifestyle destination. Families who survived understood this instinctively. Applying this knowledge today means stripping shopping down to fundamentals. Track cost per calorie. Prioritize shelf life. Learn preservation. Build local trade relationships. Reduce dependency on convenience. These are not historical curiosities, they are tested survival strategies. If this breakdown added value to your research or preparedness mindset, subscribe to Battlefield of Survival, share this video with others who care about serious history, and leave a comment with insights or corrections. This channel grows through informed discussion and shared knowledge.